John Chapin here once again. Just want to take you through air filters. Now, it's very common these days to install a nice big 5-inch air filter in your furnace. As a matter of fact, it's not only just common, it's a great idea. So when we're installing the furnace, we're taking out that 1-inch filter rack that used to be sitting down beside the furnace. We're putting in a large filter rack here that can accommodate a big, large 5-inch air filter. Now these 5-inch air filters are going to do a lot more for us than these standard 1-inch air filters. They're only 1 inch. There's really not much we can do with them. If we want to get a good filtration rating out of this filter, the membrane has to be very, very thick. And as a result, what winds up happening is we wind up having a lot of pressure drop on our filter. So something like this, cross-section of a big 5-inch air filter, they're 5 inches. There's a lot more membrane here. As a matter of fact, here's a MERV 16 filter, one of the highest grade filters you can get for your furnace. And a filter like this has so much surface area to move air through. If you were to unwrap that filter and stretch it out, you'd actually have 83 feet of filtration. So if we were to go back, I'm going to take you over here and we're going to show one little quick section of what's it like when we're actually moving air through that filter. Well, if I was to draw a section for a 1-inch air filter, and I was imagine, let's do this again. So imagine that this is my 1-inch air filter, something like that. Now my 1-inch air filter has a membrane that in the inside of it looks something like this. Something like that. Now, as we're pushing air through here, and our furnace fan is pushing that air through here, what's going to wind up happening is we're going to start to fill up some of these little spaces here with dust, debris, particles, whatever you want to call it, dander, all those things that get into our airstream. We're going to start to fill up those little areas. The result is now, as air is moving through here and we keep filling these up, we have less surface area in order to push air through. So as a result, as that diminished airflow moves through this filter, we can create an enormous pressure drop on our filter, and we wind up having diminished airflow through our house. So we're not getting the airflow up to our bedroom, we're not getting the airflow to our to downstairs to our rec room, whatever it might be. We're not cooling effectively and we're not heating effectively. So a 5-inch air filter has a cross section that looks something like this. Now this cross section, let's imagine that's our filter right there. Now, this filter has a membrane that looks something like this on the inside of it. I'm no artist, so forgive me here. But what's happening is, as we're moving air through here, these sections fill up with dust and particles, just like the other one does. But the reality is, even though these are filling up with dust, we still have this enormous amount of surface area here to push air through. So the air is still moving through here very freely, although we really are filtering out a lot of, a lot of particles from the air. So as a result, we're getting a lot of pressure drop on this 1-inch air filter, but over here on this 5-inch air filter, we're getting very little pressure drop. So we have the ability to filter out a lot more particles from the air without having to deal with pressure drop, diminished airflow, and lack of heating or cooling at the end of the line in places like our master bedroom.